are here to discuss about the deputy governor and the statement he made about Governor Obaseki on Aras TV a few days ago, where he called the governor a betrayer. So I want to quickly play the video, then we'll do analysis of that statement.
But the
first question, a betrayal.
I feel betrayed by the governor. I feel very betrayed, not just being betrayed. You see, when we go to church, there are certain biblical verses that is becoming to make meaning to me. There's this particular verse that I've been going through my mind since this incident started, especially the last one that just happened again, coming to our Chide first today. The heart of man is desperately wicked. So when I see what the governor is doing and relate it to what the verses of the Bible say, it's now making meaning to me. Because I added value in terms of my political structure, in terms of finances, in all the vehicles that were used to campaign in 2016 are mine. I added value for the second term. The second term, my not political father, Shomole is not my political father, but Shomole is like a father to me because of a long-term relationship. I grew up to see him as my father. But we came into politics in Edo to fight godfatherism. And according to him, we needed to free resources that are being used to service Godfather for us to be able to develop our state. And actually, when we fought those Godfathers, frankly speaking, the money was free to do development. And that's why we now have Red Roof and all those stuff. So I bought into it. So this time, when he now wants to be Godfather, because when we're fighting Godfather, we didn't say it has to be X and X. And I saw that the governor was to be oppressed, for him to be disqualified in that manner. And for me, I hate oppression. We had to put in.
So, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So, what Shaibu is saying here is that the governor is a betrayer because he supported the governor with his own vehicles during the campaign. Even the second term that he also supported the governor, but he forgot that he is the current deputy governor of Edo State. Why about Ogbede Iyama that stepped down from PDP for them to become who they are today? So I don't understand this sense of entitlement that Shaibu is trying to exhibit on national TV. He forgot that he is the current deputy governor of Edo State. So what is your take on it, sir?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, a few things are getting wrong with our personalities in governments, institutions of our governance. They are so reduced to such low levels that you begin to worry whether those who occupy those positions and those institutions are functioning at the way they ought to function, and the people who occupy those seats know who they are, either as governors or as deputy governors or as public officials. So when a man like that goes on to say, he ought to, that the governor has betrayed him, it's like one of the things flowing out from President Tinubu, who called it a milocom. And the milocom just means, it's my turn. So everybody just wakes up and thinks that to themselves, that just your desire or you are just hanging around the corridors of governance, therefore it's your turn. It is not like that. Therefore, you must either wait for your turn or wait to be told. And remember, you came on a joint ticket. It's not for you to break rank and begin to struggle for that same ticket. You destroy the consensus. You destroy the team. And that is not how actually a deputy governor ought to behave. Now, you made a reference to Obedi Hama. Actually, there were three of them that stepped down. Obedi Hama stepped down. Engineer Gordon Ikine stepped down. Then, what's his name? Kenneth Maswagbo, Barrister Kenneth Maswagbo also stepped down. There were three of them that stepped down. Never mind that some say, okay, some were rewarded with cash, whatever it is. But in any case, he's not the people step down for that. It's this same team, and like you rightly say, for even he himself to occupy that position. Because if they didn't step down and insisted that they were already wanting to be governor, that therefore their compensation ought to be deputy, then Philip would not have had it.
Exactly.
So he ought to be more careful.
Exactly.
He ought to be more careful.
We negotiated two of them into that political party, and those who were working for years in PDP stepped down for them to strive. So now he's so self-centered. He's so self-centered. He's talking about him supporting Governor Obaseki second term as if he is not the deputy governor. You are benefiting from the system. You are the number 2 citizen of Edo State because you are the deputy. So you are telling us now that you supported Governor Obaseki with some vehicles for campaign. How dare you? That is a kind of a sense of entitlement that you are entitled to become the governor of Edo State upon all the benefits that you have accrued in that state.
They're much more than that. Knowing Obaseki for what he is, Obaseki would have looked who is competent. Because you see, if you're leaving an office like that, whether as a president or as a governor, you want to know who can competently take over from you. And he doesn't, to my mind, doesn't have the pedigree to actually occupy that number 1 position. What have you shown? You were a student union leader in the University of Jos. Then after that, I don't know what else he really did, if he did anything, but there was a relationship between his father and Oshomole. And then Oshomole asked him, go into the house. So he enabled him to become a member of the House of Assembly. And I think he did 2 terms. Then from there, they also gave him an opportunity to go to federal. Then he became a member of the House of Representatives. From there, you were yanked off even before you finished your first tenure in the House to come and become deputy governor. So you've been in government for over 14 years. Mm-hmm. Why should it be that it must be forever yourself? Why don't you also give other people a chance? He's only about 54, 56 or thereabout. Then at least you ought to relax. Give other people a chance if the governor so desires. Because in this whole system of politics, there's always reward. If you cooperated with Obaseki, I'm not too sure that Obaseki is such a wicked man. Obaseki does not know what is good or what is bad. At least he will find a way to reward you. If he doesn't reward you, whoever I support, he will find a way to reward who was the past.
Being a deputy governor, is that not a reward? Is that not the opportunity he had to become the deputy governor in the second term? He is not reflecting on his position as the deputy governor. That is what I don't really appreciate about his comments.
Well, it is, let's agree with personality differences. Maybe he thinks that being a deputy governor is nothing. After all, he's been a deputy governor for 8 years, so he thinks it is as ordinary as anything.
Yes.
Are you one? Am I one? So if you already have it, don't commonize it. Don't think it is nothing, because there are salaries and perks and perquisites that go with that office, and you enjoying it.
Yes.
You have privileges thereunto, and therefore you ought to look in its totality, because part of your CV.
Exactly.
Wherever you go in, and you are going to be entitled to remuneration for life. So why don't you go back home and then also feel like you can come back at 50-something to come and become a governor, gain more experience, gain more money, whatever it is, and then come back and become who you want to be. I don't think it's a life and death issue. It's sad. You are busy saying a sense of entitlement and a sense that, he must continue. But as far as I'm concerned, I know now he shots himself in the foot, and his political career could be at an end. Because if the robustness of Aswe Udalo goes on, and the way they are trying to harmonize PDP, when he's finally snuffed out of politics, and maybe that's what he's afraid of. But he's made money. Let's face it. He has occupied position, so he's benefited. He can very well go and stay as a big man. What else? I don't know. What else? What else?
The privilege opportunity he had in Edo State is something that he's not appreciating. This sense of entitlement is just the problem here. That I'm entitled to become the governor of Edo State. The question I'm asking Philip Shaibu today, can you even win your own word?
Yeah, that's one. That's one. At another level, can he ever be the governor of Edo State? Can he run the state? So he's busy talking about what he gave, those are not the credentials. And then he now says that, oh, Obaseki was not a politician. Obaseki is a technocrat, and he came and gave value, because that's what he also claims. He came and gave value to the ticket. Well, I want to know really when he was coming. It was another fight. So I don't know about value that he's claiming. And okay, what did he do? Did he gather the votes for Obaseki? That was not what gave Obaseki the second ticket. No way. The first ticket was because of Oshomole. The second ticket was the personality of Obaseki. And I don't think it was him himself. The value is claiming. It is doubtful. I don't think he gave any value to that ticket. It was on the merit of what we saw that Obaseki had done that we felt Obaseki ought to continue and finish the race. That's it. So I don't know about value that he gives, because he's making certain claims that are to the public a little spurious and contestable, and you cannot put your fingers on it and say, oh, definitely all he's saying is right. Maybe he gave money, maybe he gave cars, it's all right. Because he said he gave money in naira and in dollars, that's okay. But even at that, should we not ask you a question? Why should he be spending in dollars? Where did you get it?
Yes.
We should ask you. We should ask you.
Where did you get those dollars from?
And are you in business? Are you in business? Where did you get the money from?
Yes.
Where did you get the money from? So you've never been known to have a factory. You've never been known to have one import-export business. So, but then again, when they make these claims, because this is Nigeria, nobody asks serious questions. The media ought to grind him down. In fact, if I have a chance and I have to interview him one-on-one, I'll ask him to tell the world where he got all that money. And maybe that is an issue, if it was a serious country, that he ought to be investigated. But this is a country where you can make claims and go scot-free.
Yes.
So he may say these things in the open space and then go home and nothing happens. And we shouldn't. I think we should be moving towards, now that we have even seen what has happened at the federal level, where there's so much sleaze, corruption, and people are so incensed at what has happened with the Humanitarian and Disaster Affairs Ministry. People are now saying we must reformat that ministry. We must reformat how certain things are done in the ministries from now on, and the MDs. When that happens, maybe things like this will now be questioned in the public space. But like, you also wonder if because people are saying he may not have been this bold if people are not clapping for him at the back. Who's clapping for him at the back? Because why should he from Edo North be wanting to be the governor? We've just finished 8 years of Oshomole. Then you did another 8 years as deputy governor. Technically, Edo North has had 16 years. And people are saying the ministerial slot in Edo State went to Engineer Momo, which means there's still privilege for Edo North. Then why are we not asking that a governor should come from there? Although he had a funny argument many years ago when he said that in PDP, Edo North has not had a slot in terms of being a governor. That is the reason why he's having this ambition. This was a story and narration I had over 4 years ago. And I thought, now he ought to be sensitive to people's feelings. People are now feeling that, look, Edo Central ought to have a chance. And not you. He ought to have had the feeling, along with Obaseki, to allow Edo Central to come up